How's it going, my true people? DrSlaking, the Slacking Doctor, back for week 6 of the NPL. I believe it's week 6 of the NPL, and this week we're going up against my man, Scrappy10 and his Texas Rain Dance. And this game happened quite a while ago, I'll be honest, I think over a week ago, so my memory's a little bit hazy, and I have watched the battle back and stuff to try and refresh my memory on certain plays, things like that. But it doesn't help that I can't remember where I put the team, so I don't exactly know what my sets were. But that being said, I'm going to do my best to kind of talk through this game and give you guys a breakdown. Having said last week that I was back to having more time to prep and stuff, that just hasn't been the case, unfortunately. It's been one of the sad things this season in the NPL Minors Division that my time has just been stretched, and unfortunately I think my prep has paid the price. Paid the price. I can't talk today. But here we are, we're back. And Scrappy, I believe, is week 6, right? So I think he's 4-1 going into this, so he's got a really good record. I think last week was his first L, so he's got a really good record. We are 2-3, I believe, going into this. So this would be a chance to go positive, but it's definitely we're underdogs going into this one. So whereas last week where I felt we had an incredible matchup, this week I really hated the matchup. I wasn't confident of really checking Weavile very well. I wasn't confident of checking Manaphy very well. Kartana, I had some checks too, but in general, I don't know, I wasn't feeling my matchup. I didn't like my offense against him. Things like Zapdos is a real problem for Mega Medicham. And this was, I guess, one of the times where I felt the weakness of this draft being very top-heavy in terms of, for example, our regen core, Tyranitar and Mega Medi have come to every game, right? This was one of the games where none of them really have a great matchup, and so our whole team is kind of shafted. Whereas on other drafts where I would draft more balance, I guess, every week you'll have some kind of matchup. Here I felt like we struggled, but maybe that was just me. Maybe maybe I'm wrong. Excadrill didn't come because he has Zapdos, Gligar, and Uxie to some extent, but predominantly the Zapdos, the Gligar, and even the Manaphy to some extent are all really problematic for Drill, whether you're running Mold Breaker, whether you're running Sand or whatever. He just has things that can really deal with Drill, especially the Gligar. Gligar's a really good Drill check, so as I've used it myself to do that, it's very good at it. So yeah, I didn't feel like we really had the matchup for it, so instead what I do know is that we just have 4 attacks, Mega Medicham, of course. We have Rocks, Toxic, Tita, I think. I think we might have Pursuit on it to try and chip down the Zapdos as well if we want to catch it on a Volt Switch or something. We have a Fizdef, Lefties. I believe Aromatisse designed to kind of come in on the... Sorry, I've moved my glasses and they're doing my head in. To come in on the Weavile, that's the idea there. Kind of wish support for the team as well. Yeah, this is the first time Aromatisse has come this season, and I definitely, I just felt like I needed it, because, how else am I going to do Weavile? Maybe I could have brought, a Fizdef Volcarona for Weavile. I thought about that, but, I don't know. If he gets Rocks up, then Volcarona's not a defensive check to anything, so, it then pressures me to try and keep Rocks down all the time, and I really want Rocks up on his side, because I want to pressure that Zapdos for Mega Medicham, so it's I felt like the Hazard game, I really needed the Hazard up on his side to win, which means I couldn't defog, which means I couldn't rely on Volcarona. So in team building, I was like, okay, it's going to have to be a Aromatisse. What is going on with my glasses? I hope that's a clear explanation of why I made that decision. Then I think we just have Life Orb, Breaker, Torn with Heatwave, Hurricane. Now after this week, Torn is now going to be Z, because like every week I've wanted Z Hurricane nearly, and we just haven't been able to bring it. So I'm like, oh, let's change that up. So we no longer have Z Drill, which a lot of people criticized anyway. We don't have any more. We have Z Torn. I think we've only brought Z Drill once, and we didn't even click the Z. So then we have a, I want to say Rocky Helmet Amoonguss, but it could be Black Sludge or something along those lines. Could even be like Pyapa Berry. Designed to take on the Kartana, of course. I do think you'll probably have Psycho Cut on the Kartana to try and hit the Amoonguss, why it might be Pyapa, but I don't think so. And then last up, this Slowbro set's pretty weird. Slowbro basically is my Manaphy check. It's Rindo Berry T-Wave, which might sound really weird because it doesn't beat Manaphy. But the main problem with Manaphy is everything that's faster than it. Well, the thing that's faster than it predominantly is Torn on this build, and Torn has to land a Hurricane to kill it, which is not very reliable. So from my point of view, Manaphy can just potentially, if it wins speed ties against Mega Medicham and stuff, it can just wreck shop on my team after a Tail Glow. So if it's got a speed, however, if we T-Wave it and we halve its speed, then suddenly it isn't as effective because Mega Medicham can come in, guarantee outspeed it, high jump kick it in the face, right? So I feel like even though I'm basically trading 1 for 1 by trading my Slowbro, letting it go down to his Energy Ball, because he should have Surf, Energy Ball, Ice Beam, Tail Glow essentially against me. Even though I am trading 1-for-1, I feel like it's worth, because I feel like Manaphy is so powerful against my team, I'm happy to just give him 1 Mon in exchange for it. So yeah, hopefully that's all explained clearly. I'm going to lead off with T-Tar, which I don't do that often, but because it gives me my sand, it gets me chip on stuff, and it gets me rocks, and I really want my rocks up to pressure this, because this is definitely going to be like some sort of static set. It's definitely going to be obnoxious. It stops me U-turn around. It stops me high jump kicking as easily. So I'm just going to go for my rocks here. If he goes into Gligar, which he does, there's no point in like Toxicking or Stone Edging or anything like that. He gets a little bit of chip off on me, but that's not the end of the world. I'm just going to go into Skyward here, so that if he defogs, which I thought was his most likely play, well, if he went for rocks of his own, I got in another Mon that offensively pressured him, right? I can now click Hurricane hits our team. If he goes for the Earthquake, trying to hit my Tar, I'm immune to it. If he goes for the Toxic, I've got Regenerator, so it isn't the end of the world if this thing gets Toxic, although it wouldn't be ideal with Life Orb, Toxic, and Sand. And more crucially, if he just goes for defog like he has, now I'm fairly confident Zapdos is coming back in, and now I can just click Toxic. Even though this thing's got immunity and it's whatever, I know he's not going to stay in. There's no point in taking a Hurricane, right? He's going to go Zapdos, and I can get Zapdos on a timer early. Unfortunately, we missed the Toxic. Yeah, I mean, that's Mons. It really, really sucks, because like I say, I just wanted to basically put that thing on a timer. I'm pretty sure he's just going to Volt Switch here and keep momentum, as I can't stay in, and he knows that. He does. I don't have my ground type with me, unfortunately, so he is able to just Volt Switch out. I wasn't sure he'd bring Volt Switch. Now, with hindsight, Drill might have been nice as like a bulky Drill just to take those, but like, I mean, I still would have lost defensive momentum by bringing Drill in anyway, so it's not the end of the world. Here, I'm just going to go into Rotom-Mow. I couldn't remember what this thing's nickname was supposed to be, so it's just called, I forget. It was supposed to be called Mercia. I did check my sticky note after the battle, but I didn't have the right computer with me at that time to check my sticky note with all my nicknames on. So, we just have I forget the Rotom-Mow, which we fire off the Wish, and then here, I don't want to give him rocks for free, so I'm just going to go into Barney. I also don't really want him Toxicking me. But predominantly, I just didn't want him getting his rocks up and me not getting mine up. So maybe that was a misplay. Maybe I should have tried to keep Rotom-Mow healthy. But he is Life Orb, Weavile. So I'm like, well, we can kind of chip it down. We still have Bullet Punch Medi, I'm pretty sure, in the back. As he actually just goes for the U-turn here when we double out into our Torn. And the reason we doubled out into Torn is because he's already basically showed me here, when I bring my T-Tar in, he's already showed me that the Gligar is his main offensive or defensive check to my Torn. To my Tyranitar, sorry. And I want my Tornadus on it so I can click Toxic again and hit that Zapdos. That's what I really want here. Even though it seems like rocks would be more beneficial, I wanted to try and catch the Zapdos with Toxic. Now, he does have U-turn on his Uxie, so he's brought a lot of momentum. And I was like, damn, I didn't think... I saw Toxic. I was like, he might have U-turn, but I don't know if he's going to click it here, because I could just, like, crunch him or whatever if I'm a fast T-Tar. So, like... yeah, maybe he'd already seen enough of my set to know that I didn't have enough speed in T-Tar or whatever. I don't even know if I did have enough speed in T-Tar. I honestly can't remember. But it definitely put me in a bad spot, because now I have to pivot back in on Zapdos, because he gets Zapdos in on my Torn. And this gives him this damn Manaphy. So I lost a lot of momentum by going into the Torn there, trying to get that read in on the Gligar switch in. So it was an aggressive switch that lost me a lot. But this is fine, because I'm basically going to neuter his biggest threat as like a breaker. Like, not his biggest threat as like a sweeper, because the Weavile and the Kartana are still very scary, but this thing just does so much to my team. So we do trade the Rindo for whatever. There was someone in the chat who said, why didn't I just go Torn T on the Energy Ball? And it's because then I've got to land a Hurricane still, and then Manaphy can just switch out and come back in later and do it again as he goes into Zapdos. And I don't want to... I want to just trade 1-for-1, like I say. We go for the high jump kick here on the Manaphy now that we've slowed it down, as he goes into the Rocky Helmet Uxie, and I'm like, okay, we get a crit, so we do 50%, which is really, really nice, because it means that this thing can't switch in hard on me again, because the next one will 2-hit KO. So I definitely, like, the Toxic miss earlier sucked, but then we get the crit there, so these things come and go. That's Mons. Here I go for the Toxic again, expecting the Zapdos to come out every time, and we do get the Toxic off, which is amazing. I'm just going to go to Strumpf here. I just can't do anything else. I just have to keep going in Strumpf to sponge the Volt Switch, because nothing else on my team wants to take it. He gets in Weavile. Maybe I should have just tried to sack something here, but I tried going into our Aromatisse, hoping I might be able to take it if he goes for like a knockoff or something, but he had no reason to. Right now, Ice Crash is free because we've lost our Slowbro, so it puts us in a really bad spot where we just guaranteed to die to this thing. And he can go to the Ice Shard to make sure he doesn't miss the Icicle Crash. Like I say, I still scare this thing out with Bullet Punch, and I think he's a good enough player, and I'm in the back so much that I predict him to switch here. Like, he could have stayed in, and I would have over-predicted and lost my Mega Medicham, but one, there's no reason for him to risk his Weavile. He's in the driving seat, he may as well make safe plays, and me, I'm in the back, so like I've got to run some risks. Here he brings out the Kartana, and I'm just going to pivot into Strumpf. We take that pretty nicely, not too bad at all. I think we actually have Rocky Helmet. Yeah, we had Rocky Helmet. That's why we got the chip. I was about to say, that wasn't Life Orb, I'm sure. Yeah, it was Rocky Helmet. So we are Rocky Helmet Amoonguss, just to wear down that Kartana. Here we're going to double into the Torn. And the reason that we double into the Torn is because I don't expect the Kartana to stay in at all. He's got to predict HP Fire and stuff. And I think he could try and go like Manaphy on me. He could try and go like Gligar on me. I didn't think he would go Zapdos. Like, I didn't think he would go Zapdos at all. But I guess it makes sense because if I'm going for HP Fire, he's not going to go Weavile. I don't know why really, but I just didn't expect the Zapdos to come in. Had I expected the Zapdos to come in, I probably would have just gone Mega Medi and clicked Ice Punch. I guess I couldn't risk Medi either. That was the thing. If he did stay in with Kartana and Smart Strike again, not that I thought it was a play he would make, I'd be in a bad spot. But yeah, I don't know. This was kind of like a half-baked prediction, I feel. I'm just going to go for the Heat Wave here because I just can't keep giving this thing momentum. Like, I've got to try and chip it down. And then maybe, like, I can try and win with Mega Medicham, but I'm definitely in a bad spot. Like, but now maybe, you know, I can go into Amoonguss here. And I thought about doubling, but I was like, oh no, I did double. I did double into T-Tar, this time trying to catch the Zapdos coming in again. And he actually goes Manaphy. I'm like, ah, oh, god damn it. Okay, I didn't get that one right. So we're both making the doubles out here. And again, like, had I got Mega Medi, I would have been in a better spot. At least it would have been a free high jump kick. But he actually goes into Gligar here, and I just go for my rocks, and I'm like, okay, that's good, because now Zapdos, like, can't switch in on Medi, right? He can't come in on a high jump kick and get 2 chances to para-stat me. If it comes in, it takes 25 from rocks and dies to high jump kick, so he only gets 1 turn to try and static paralyze me. I think it's a para-stat instead of static paralyze, you know what I mean. So, like, the rocks, you know, it worked out, and it was a very aggressive play, but it worked out. Now he goes into the Zapdos, and it was this turn that I get it wrong. I was going to say there was wrong turn where I know I get it wrong, because I go into the Amoonguss on the Gligar, because I want to try and keep Tyranitar, because I don't want his Scarf Kartana to clean me up with Psycho Cut, so I feel like I need T-Tar alive, which is why it was so risky going for rocks on Manaphy, because if I got that wrong and Kart just comes in and just Psycho Cuts through my team, then I'm boned, but I felt like I had to make those plays. And it's here, like I say, that I get it wrong. I go for the Spore because I don't think he's going to go Zapdos, just because it's so low. If I like Sludge Bomb or anything, I could kill it, and I think he wants to try and static power my Mega Medi, but he does, possibly predicting the Spore, just go into this thing, and I'm like, oh, man, I mean, he could have gone Manaphy, I guess, but then I didn't think he'd want to me Giga Drain. Like, I thought Weavile was coming in, probably, because it's got decent Spadef. It would take a Giga Drain or a Sludge Bomb, or I thought the Gligar would just stay in, and I could put that thing to sleep. So, here I go into Tyranitar, because I can try and scare this thing. It doesn't work. Doesn't work at all. And, yeah. Oh, that was the other reason I went into Tyranitar earlier, was because if he wasn't Scarf Car, I wanted to try and catch him on a Psycho Cut and get Tyranitar for free or something. I don't quite remember. I don't remember my exact, something along those lines. So here I'm just going to go into Mac and Ice Punch. Kartana just probably cleans up this game. If I can keep Amoonguss healthy and he is Scarf Cut, maybe I can take some hits from him if he hasn't got Psycho Cut, but like, we're definitely not in a great spot. I've got to keep Mac around, because apart from this thing, Mac just wins now, like Bullet Punch, High Jump Kick, Ice Punch. But he actually reveals to have that Aerial Ace, which isn't something that I thought about at all. Like I said, my prep was perhaps slightly rushed, and I just thought it'd be Psycho Cut. I was just like, oh, it'll be Psycho Cut for Amoonguss. It wasn't. It was Aerial Ace for the Amoonguss. So this thing obviously is going to clean up. Even if I have Fake Out, whatever, it's not going to do enough. So that's GG. There's nothing I can really do there. And good win to my opponent. Obviously losing 4-0 sucks. I definitely feel like in prep I was just like, I hate my matchup, and the prep was a little bit rushed, so I feel like I didn't do my best. Like, I'm disappointed when I looked back at this week, even like 10 minutes after the battle, I was like, I'm disappointed with myself, because like I think I should have prepped better, and I should have spent more time on it. I think I was just rushed, saw the matchup, and was like, this is an L, and just moved on. I shouldn't have done that. So I want to apologize, basically. That's the point, is I want to apologize because this wasn't good enough. And hopefully next week we can bounce back. We're up against Excellent Name, I believe, who beat Scrappy last week. So we're up against another formidable battler. Our division is definitely stacked. I think in the other division we'd have a decent shot at making playoffs, but in our division, like, it ain't happening. So we definitely got a tougher division. that being said, I've been my own worst enemy this season, in my opinion. I guess we're kind of like the midway point in the season now, week 6. I think it's like a week 10 season, so we're just past the midway point. And I'm going to ramble for a second here, but I think mid-season reflection for me, like, I'm really disappointed with how the season's gone. I think I've made some choke plays in a few games. I think I've made some lazy prep in a few games. And, yeah, it's just, it just hasn't been for me. Like, I've really been enjoying Wi-Fi leagues at the minute. I think that's part of the problem, where I've just been enjoying the buzz of Wi-Fi and stuff. So the showdown leagues that I'm in have kind of fallen by the wayside, and I'm a bit disappointed with that, because I was so excited to be in NPL Minors. It was such a huge honor to be included. I love so many people in the community. Like, I've made some fantastic friends through NPL, that I'm a bit annoyed with myself that I think I haven't gone as hard as I would have liked, with my performances and my prep. But you can't have it all, right? You can't have it all. So next week, we'll be looking to bounce back, and for the rest of the season, just trying to show some pride, basically. I don't think we're going to make playoffs at this point, but that's okay. We might make some trades, because, like, there are just 3 or 4 mons on our draft that just aren't getting used, so we might try and trade some stuff, just get some fun mons, see what we can do. But for the most part, yeah, like, we're just going to try and restore some pride for the rest of the season, maybe pick up a win or 2 here and there, and see how it goes. I want to thank you guys for the support on these videos. These videos have been fantastically supported, and like I say, I'm honoured to be a part of this community. So, regardless, I'm going to stop rambling on. GG against my opponent. Thank you so much for loafing around with me, guys, and I'll catch you again next time.